everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Space Wolves army set. Yes, here we are. We have the all-new Blood Claws, and they have been sent to me early by Games Workshop to build up and paint with all of you, and a massive thank you to them for doing that, because these are really cool. Look at them. Absolutely fabulous new Space Wolves miniatures. So, we're going to jump in, and we're going to start painting them. Now, they're pretty much exactly the same as we go along. It's Space Marines, right? But what we will do is we will pick out anything that is important to pick out. But we're mostly going to focus here on our pack leader for the Blood Claws. However, as I say, if something comes up, we shall pick out something else. Either way, we're going to pop these two to one side for now. And we're going to work on our pack leader. Here he is. So, he has been primed. Well, they've all been primed in Grey Seer, and the colour we're going to be using first is Space Wolves Grey. And what we're going to do is we're going to take roughly 4 parts Space Wolves Grey to 1 part Lahmian Medium, and we're going to apply this over the top of almost all of the armour. Now we're going to avoid the shoulders and the occasional knee pad. Now on our pack leader here, we're going to avoid this one. However, what you can do is you can avoid that one on other ones, should you so choose. However, if you do get some of this Space Wolves Grey and Lahmian Medium over it, it's not a problem. Just use a little bit of Grey here just to tidy it up. So with all that Space Wolves Grey applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Tyran Blue and we're going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Imperial Fist. And we're going to apply this over the top of our remaining armour panels. So the shoulders and the knee. Like that. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of the cummerbund, the soft joints in the armour, the ribbed power cable on the lightning claw, and over the top of the casing of any pistols and chain swords. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to use this over the top of any leather details. This is basically going to be the belts and pouches. But in this guy's case, we're also going to apply this over the top of the kind of smooth skin of the pelt at his waist. So with that all done, we're then going to take two colours, Skeleton Horde and Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to apply this over top of the fur of the wolf pelt. So we're going to start with the Skeleton Horde. We're just going to apply this like so. There we go. And then we're going to grab some Gore-Grunta Fur. I'm going to apply this at the same time, like so. A little bit more Gore-Grunta. There we go. I'm then going to wash the brush, and then with a clean brush, I'm just going to go in there and just kind of move it around a little bit. Like so. And if you want to, you can always take a little bit of Skeleton Horde and just go back in like so. Now in addition to this, what we're also going to do is we're going to use some Skeleton Horde to pick out all the little teeth. Like that. And we're also going to pick out the skull on the belt. Or, well, cummerbund. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some black Templar. We're going to apply this over top of any of the little runic stones. So with that all done, we then take some Flesh Tearers Red. And we're going to apply this over top of the grips of any of the weapons, but what we're also going to do here on the pack leaders, we're going to apply this over the trim of the cummerbund. So with that all done, the next thing we're going to do is work on all of the faces, and we're basically going to just do two skin recipes here. And the first of these is going to be a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Cygor Brown, and the other is going to be some Fyreslayer Flesh. So we're going to start with that Cygor Brown one. We're going to go over this individual's head. I'm going to apply this over top of his skin. Like that. What we're then going to do is we're going to take some Fyreslayer Flesh and we're going to apply this over the top of one of our other faces, such as the pack leaders. So with that all done, we're then going to do 3 lots of hair, and we're going to be using 3 different colours to do this. Skeleton Horde, Black Legion, and Gryph-Hound Orange. And the first of these is going to be Skeleton Horde, and we're going to apply this over top of our pack leader's hair. Beard. There we go. Right, next one. I'm going to use the Gryph-Hound Orange. Like that. And for our third and final, we're going to use the Black Legion. So with that all done, I actually did just do a little bit of Gryph-Hound Orange over this guy's eyebrows. The reason being is that the Skeleton Horde wouldn't read over the Fyreslayer Flesh, and well, it just looks cool. Anyway, what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Frostheart and we're going to apply this over the top of the plasma coils of the plasma pistol. I think that sentence got away from me there. So with that all done, it's now time to work on the metallics, and the first of these is going to be some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to be applying this over the top of any of the mechanical areas, any blades, all the firing mechanisms of the guns, for example. But there actually isn't that much the way of metallic details on these blood claws, which is strange for Space Marines, but also really cool. With all that Iron Warriors applied, we then take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining details. So with that all done, it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be some Nuln Oil. I'm going to apply this over top of the silver and the black. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Carroburg Crimson. I'm going to use this to shade the gold. And so with that all done, we then take a tiny amount of Blood Angel's Red and use this to block in the eye lenses. So with that all done, our Blood Claws are now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and they're looking pretty fantastic. However, we're not going to leave them there, of course not. We're going to take them to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, as mentioned before, is we're going to do the little clean up glazy layer, which is to take some Russ Grey. And we're going to thin it down with sort of roughly 4 or 5 parts water and make it really, really thin and really, really runny, like that on my thumb. And we're just going to use this to smooth out any areas that we need to smooth out if we've made any intense mistakes. So for example, I had a little nick there on that armor panel, so we're just going to glaze the Russ Grey over the top of that just to smooth it out. Just like that. You might not need to do any of this. Yours might be perfect, but mine are not. Although this one's pretty good. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Blue Horror. And we're basically going to kind of spot highlight these miniatures because, well, you've got a lot of them to get through. You've got 10 of them to get through. And so rather than kind of highlighting every single edge, all we need to do, because it's so bright, is we just need to highlight the most extreme ones that are kind of areas where the eye is drawn. So we're going for areas such as gorgets, like this, shoulders, the lightning claw, naturally, tops of knees, essentially anywhere you want the light to catch, really. So with that all done, our next job is to take some thinned down Gorthor Brown, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our Cygor Brown leather stuff. And with that Gorthor Brown all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight the black details. So with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. Rather than adding spot highlights, because these are troops, we don't need to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to use the Administratum Grey to highlight the little rune stones. Now if you want to, you can add some spot highlights to the black at this point, if you want to take them just a little bit further, but honestly, I don't think it really needs it. And then next up, we're going to take some thinned down Fire Dragon Bright. We don't need very much of this at all, because what we're going to do is we're going to add a little tiny line going across the middle of each of the eye lenses. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh, and we're going to use this to highlight our Fyreslayer Flesh skin. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Knight-Questor Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight our other skin recipe. So with that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Black Legion. And I'm going to use this to pick out the eyeballs. And so with that all done, we then want to take a teensy tiny little dot of Screaming Skull. We're going to use this to pick out the corners of each of the eyeballs. Like that. But we will also use the Screaming Skull to highlight any teeth, any fang trophies, as well as this guy's hair, beard and eyebrows. And then next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the gold. And so with all that Liberator Gold applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Blood Angels Red. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the gems. And finally, to finish things off, what we're going to do is we're going to paint in some pack markings. And the colour we're going to be using to do this is some thinned down Mephiston Red. And we're going to be doing this over any yellow knees and of course the right hand shoulder pad. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the box art here. We're going to do two triangles, and the bottom one is longer than the top one. So you take that Mephiston Red, and draw in our first triangle. Kind of like this. And above it, we draw our shorter one. So that sort of thing. And so with their bases now complete, the future of the chapter is secure, because the Blood Claws are now finished. And, well, much like the Grey Hunters, they're very, very cool, very, very awesome, and a real surprise to get a, new model kit, which is really cool. So, I enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this. And, well, I'll see you all very soon, I'm sure, for even more Space Wolves content, as this one is the last one.
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And If you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.